Good morning, everyone. I'm Tim Bronca. A so-called pill mill in Tampa is now shut down. Let me show you what happened. Witnesses say a black SUV came around the corner a bit too fast. That now has a red light camera installed. Clearwater is the latest city to install these cameras. In other news this morning, NASA still plans to launch Space Shuttle Discovery on February 3rd, despite finding. Good evening, everyone. A St. Pete man charged with attempted murder after allegedly shooting his son-in-law. It was a party on the top floor of this building where 19-year-old Eric Brady was shot. Police say someone started firing a gun. Kimberly Linda Fern and 4 of her staff members were arrested at First Medical Group on Dale Mabry. 52-year-old Bill Laverne shot 30-year-old Jeremy Mathis during an argument. Laverne claims blames nearby farmers using extra groundwater to protect their crops against the recent freezes. Hundreds of churchgoers are without a place of worship tonight. Their building was destroyed by fire. It took 12 units, several tankers, and 40 firefighters to put the fire out. It's a difficult day for members of the Strong Tower Church of God.
I don't have words to explain. And just I know we're going to worship God no matter what.
Many churchgoers here in Dover have called this church home for the past 16 years.
Completely destroyed. The only thing that's left of that is the shell, which is the outside. There's absolutely nothing left on the inside.
The cause of the fire is still unknown, but church leaders are hopeful about the future.
Church is not the building itself, but it's the congregation. Romans 8:28 says that everything works for good. So it's a loss, but it's also going to be a gain. I'm still faithful and trusting the Lord that everything's going to be okay.
Churchgoers say the fire is a painful loss, but church service will take place tomorrow without walls or a roof. The Strong Tower Church of God congregation was already building a new church before today's fire, but it won't be ready until at least the end of the year. Churchgoers will meet at 10 tomorrow for a Sunday service near the burned church. Back to you. The immediate aftermath of a small plane crash at the Sun & Fun Fly-In was caught on tape. The plane went down just before 11:30 this morning in the 4400 block of Hamilton Road. One person is dead and investigators aren't sure if a second person was on board.
There was a large fireball. It's obvious that there was a serious fire immediately upon it crashing.
Flames and dark smoke could be seen for miles as a single-engine aircraft crashes near the Linder Regional Airport.
Sirens first. And my husband jumps up and said, "Oh my gosh, I think a plane crashed over there."
April Black was at her home less than a mile away and pulled out a video camera.
I was shaken up. It's just scary.
The wreckage was so bad that investigators were unable to determine if 1 or 2 people were on board.
There's nothing immediately clear as to what may have caused it, as you know, whether or not there was engine trouble or it hit something, or there was nothing in the air that happened. So it's just not, it's a mystery right now as far as why it went down.
The Lancair Legacy aircraft was taking off from the Sun & Fun Fly-In on a flight heading west. Officials with the show had no information on the accident but believed the plane took off with a full tank of gas.
This is a well-known experimental aircraft. Typically it's amateur built. You can build it yourself or you can buy one that's already put together.
The FAA is heading up the investigation. There's no telling exactly how long it will take to determine what caused the crash. Back to you.
He joins us here in the studio. Tell us about this story.
Thanks, Nicole. The man accused of a road rage incident that took another man's life was back in court this morning. Brian Bischoff asked for the freedom to visit a list of places while he's on house arrest, but the victim's mother does not like this idea. In court today, the judge ruled that Bischoff will only be allowed to visit work-related businesses. You might remember that Bischoff is accused of sideswiping a car on I-75 earlier this year. In a fit of rage, he killed 25-year-old Brian Madelsky. The victim's mother is very upset and says the man should be behind bars.
He has no respect for life. He knew what he was doing. He knew what he had done when he ran my son off the road, and he continued on down the roadway.
That is Brian Bischoff right there. Linda Pitcher is pushing state legislators to make road rage a crime. She wants the law to deny bond to drivers accused in a road rage case. Back to you, Nicole.